I'm Jessica Haymaker Parsons. I am the Director of Crisis Intervention and Sexual Violence Support Services. It's a program within the Office of the Dean of Students, and it's a program with 4 confidential advocates. And we work with students in general crisis or who are experiencing all kinds of concerns that are impacting their academics. And more specifically, we work with folks who've experienced trauma, like sexual violence, dating violence, domestic violence, or stalking, or sexual harassment. Yeah, we're specifically trained to help students make the best decisions for themselves and support those decisions. And we are confidential for Title IX related experiences, which are the experiences that I just mentioned. And then we hold privacy for all other students that we get to talk to. So yeah, it's a general overview.
That's great. And then I'm Blake. I'm the director of OASA. So my first question is, how is your office operating differently now that people are no longer allowed back on campus?
What I've been saying is that none of our services have changed. There's just the way in which we're allowed to provide them looks different. So we're still able to do all the functions that we used to do and support students. Our only limitation is for the safety of students and our staff. We're social distancing like the rest of the world. So what we're doing is encouraging if students want to interact with us to call them or have a Zoom meeting, or another way that they feel most comfortable. So not everyone is down to have a video chat with a stranger who's a confidential advocate. So we're still allowing students and respecting their choice there around how they want to engage with us. We are still holding drop-in, which is the program that allows students to, come by the office and talk with an advocate about what's going on for them and then how we can help. We've actually expanded those hours, so it's from 9 to 4 instead of 1 to 4. And again, because people can't physically come into the office, they have to, they can reach out to us directly. They can fill out a form online, and we will call them back or email them, whichever they prefer. Or they can give our office a call, and then one of us will get in touch with them that same day. And then our 24-hour hotline is still operational as always. We, again, are providing a lot more phone interactions. And then there are still the same options if folks want to report, which is totally up to them. There's still the same option to report to the university, and there's still the same option to report to UOPD. So yeah,
I feel like that was great. You put specifics and everything, so that's good for students to know. Another question I feel like should be addressed is, do students still have access to the domestic violence clinic and the student survivor legal services on campus?
Oh, yes, such a great question. Such a vital resource too. They do. So Kasha Malinsky and all of her staff are also still operating, and they've made some of the same shifts that we have. So they are operating also via Zoom. And yeah, we're all using a Zoom platform that, and we're trying to make it as safe as possible, because I understand students understand that Zoom bombing is a thing. There is also an additional HIPAA compliant Zoom. So if students are ever worried about that, that is the platform that the university has access to, which again puts in more protections for students so that people can't enter the meeting. But yes, Kasha and her staff are still able to consult legally. They're still able to be advisors for folks if they do want to report. They're still able to, I believe that protection order hearings are still happening at the Lane County Courthouse, because anything related to a safety concern is still those hearings are still being held at the courthouse. So yeah, I think just like us, though, the Lane County Courthouse is just trying to figure out how those look and if they can happen over a video platform. But if students are interested in a protection order, that is still something that Kasha can explore and help them with. So.
And I'm assuming that y'all are communicating back and forth if you're dealing with a student and everything, like the same that you would.
Yeah, we're only doing that with releases. So if the student has given us permission to talk with Kasha, and because we can't get a written signature on a release of information right now, we're operating a lot over email. So as long as a student has said in writing that they want us to talk with someone and about what, we're using that for now, and we're moving our releases to an online platform. So that's my next big venture.
Awesome. Another question that we had for you was, what are some tips for students struggling during this time?
So I've been thinking a lot about this, especially because this is Sexual Assault Awareness Month. My tips are, and take them as you will, make them your own, to connect with the people, continue to make time and find ways to connect with the people in your life that support your healing. When you can't, I've found that routines are really important. So, and routines can start small. So I had a supervisor that said, if you make a goal to exercise every day and it doesn't happen, then you've failed at your goal. So why not start with once a week or twice a week? So I think that's another tip, is to have grace with yourself. These are really uncertain times. And when we're healing from trauma, it's even more uncertain. Um, so yeah, those are a couple of tips I have, which are probably redundant, but I found they helped a little bit. So
Yeah, totally. I feel like those are really relevant, and OASA has definitely been trying to make sure that we're getting a good variety of like self-care tips, because that's definitely needed right now. The last one was just, how can students best utilize your services and others available to them, no matter where they're located. But I feel like you answered that at the beginning. I don't know if you have anything to add to that at all.
um no, I mean, I think, yeah, just know that we're still here, even if we're not physically present on campus.
Yeah.
And that, we miss students. We miss seeing everyone. That was, part of why staff end up working on at a college campus or a higher ed institution, is that we just love the energy you all bring, and we're missing that a lot.
Yeah, I'm sure.
I guess I will say, another sort of way that I know students are feeling impact and families are feeling impact is financial impact right now. And so this has probably been said a lot, but there are multiple crisis funds to help students in financial need right now. It doesn't have to be related to a trauma you experienced. It can just be financial concern. So yeah, there are multiple funds that students would have access to. And there's an external application online on our Dean of Students website if a student hasn't already filled it out. And then I also know that the financial aid office is about to get a lump of money from the federal government to help students with tuition. So Couple things. That one's forthcoming, so keep an eye out for that. But our Student in Crisis Fund application is definitely live and online. So that's another way to connect with us.
We appreciate you doing this interview,
Of
and
course.
I just really appreciate the things that you do for students. It makes a huge difference.